Hello to another Drink with Eddie Irvine on Motorsport-Total.com and Formel1.de. And if you move away with your hand, we can actually see you on your boat, Eddie, having a nice time. Still on some Austrian Radler and enjoying it. Eddie, I want to talk about Ferrari, because you've been a Ferrari driver for 4 years. And Ferrari is, well, a crisis is probably a harsh word to say, but actually Ferrari always wants to be winning, particularly with two world champion drivers. The one thing that I noticed was Ferrari, before they started winning under Jean Todt, Rory Byrne, Ross Brawn, Michael Schumacher, before they started winning, they were pretty much Italian. They were successful with not being Italian, and they have gone back to being Italian again with Sergio Marchionne on top of the company, Maurizio Arrivabene. Now James Allison has left as a technical director, and it's Mattia Binotto on top of the technical department. Do you think being Italian is, in terms of success, a problem for Ferrari?
Listen, I think it's more difficult. The Italian way of working is not ideal. It's an amazing way of working. It's a beautiful way of working in many respects, and it's entertaining. Probably the German Anglo-Saxon mentality is better, and that's, I think, what Todd recognized and Todd brought in. But at the same time, you know, I look at them years of Michael winning all the championships, and you had a German driver, a British technical director, a South African designer, and a French boss. Now, is that Ferrari? The purist in me says no. You know, Mattia was my old engineer at Ferrari. Very clever guy, very methodical and sensible. So it'll be interesting to see what difference he makes. I like him a lot. Maurizio Arrivabene I've known for years and years and years, like as Italian can get. Marchionne, I don't think I've met. But you know, even though they're not winning, at least it's Ferrari, you know. And I think just buying in talent is not as beautiful as building talent. Like if you look at Manchester United, that team of '99, most of them players were, you know, came up through the school, and that was a real Manchester United team. Then you look at Man City, that just hires the latest, fastest gun. They win, but does anyone really care? You know, it's not really, you know, it's not really Manchester City, you know. I think it's not just about winning. I think it's about how you win and with who you win. And I like the idea that Maurizio Arrivabene is in charge, and you know, you've got Mattia's, you know, the organizer, and you try and build an Italian team. And if they can't do it, they can't do it. But at least Ferrari has tried, you know, with Italians. Because for me, that's what it's all about. The driver. That's another thing. You got to hire the best driver you can get, but I think it's more pure that they can do it with homegrown talent.
Yeah. Who would be the best driver you can get at the moment? What do you think?
It's hard to say. You know, you've got Ricciardo's fantastic. Obviously, you've got Hamilton's doing a fantastic job. Vettel does a great job. I'm sure I've missed one or two out there, but Alonso, you know, they're all very, very good. Is there a Michael Schumacher out there? Probably not at the minute, but they're all very, very good, and that's what's fantastic. We have a great depth of talent in Formula One at the minute. You know, there are 4 or 5 or 6 guys that are exceptionally good, but only one has the right car.
Yeah. You mentioned Maurizio Arrivabene, who obviously you know because back then he was Marlboro, I guess. Maurizio, when he came in, I remember very well. He was there was a media conference, and he said, "Well, just call me Maurizio." And his approach was very refreshing and open and new. And I remember the first test, he took some of his test drivers and just went up onto the grandstand. So that was very good. It's 1.5 years that happened now, and a lot has changed. Is it the pressure of Ferrari? When you watch him, do you think he has changed? For us journalists, it seems he has changed.
Listen, the pressure he's under is incredible. And one of the problems you've got is Marchionne is not a racing man; he's a marketing man and a finance guy. Or racing's another game. It's to win in Formula One. It takes a lot.
But would you say? Sorry to interrupt, but would you say Irvine is a racer? After all, he's coming from Marlboro Marketing.
No, I'm talking about Marchionne. I'm saying Marchionne expects a lot, and probably expects it too fast. When I heard him being interviewed when he first took over from Montezemolo, what he was saying was a little bit naive. I think, and it's coming to pass that the job that Maurizio Arrivabene has, it's a really, really, really difficult job.
Yeah.
To get Ferrari back to the years of Schumacher, Brawn, and Rory Byrne and Jean Todt that was a unique period in time where they had the most money, they had the best driver, they had as good a technical director as anybody, or maybe Adrian Newey, and a great designer. So they had all them pieces in place, and there was a weakness in the other teams. I think Adrian Newey was kind of now upset with McLaren, so McLaren weren't really there. Red Bull were just coming in, so there was a period of weakness at the same time as a very strong Ferrari. At the minute, Ferrari are a little bit weak because they've had a turnover of people. They've had a mass exodus of the golden team, and now they're trying to rebuild, and that's not easy, and it takes time. And Maurizio Arrivabene knows how Italy is and how the Italian press are. They turn on you in a second, so he is under pressure. But I think it's great that someone so Italian is in charge of Ferrari. Maybe it's if you had a choice between Maurizio and Todt, Todt has an insane track record, but would Todt go back? I don't think so. Because he knows even if Todt went back today, it'd be 5, 6, 7 years before the results would come, like it was back in the day. It's not easy. So, and only one person can win.
Yeah, you talked in a previous episode about how Jean Todt worked and how important he was for the golden Ferrari era. We didn't actually talk a lot about Ross Brawn yet. What was his role in that team? Because Rory Byrne was basically designing the cars. Jean Todt was organizing the whole team, but Ross was more than making strategy calls. So tell us a little bit.
No, Ross was organizing the team. Todt put the personnel in charge, and then he let them do their job. Todt was not involved in strategy, was not involved in the design of the car, was not involved in anything. His job was to pick the players, and that's what he did, and he let the players play the game. And he protected them players from the criticism of the press and Montezemolo and people like that. So, Ross was in charge of the whole technical situation of the team, even designing the car. He was very involved in that because he was the technical director. He was above Rory, so Ross was essential to the makeup of that team.
Do you think Ross going back to Ferrari as a consultant, because he already said he's not going to be back in a role he previously had, do you think he could help?
I think he could help, but I don't think it would help enough. Formula One is not a part-time job. If he goes back, he has to go back 24/7, and I just don't think he needs that or wants that. So, plus I don't think it's right for Ferrari. I think Ferrari should stick to being Italian and get the best results they can get. And they didn't win for, I don't know how many years it was before we won the Constructors' Championship in '99.
Yeah, 96 you joined, so it's been 1, 2, 3 years. So, but much more before they won, obviously. I'm just talking 96 when Ross Brawn came in and Rory Byrne came in. I don't even know what was the last Constructors' title before that. Scheckter was drivers in 79, I remember.
79, I think that was it, probably when it was 30 years or something crazy.
Yeah,
like that.
There was one in the 80s, I believe, I'm not sure.
Was there? Anyway, but You know, I think Ferrari should stick to being Ferrari and try and win as
Yeah.
Ferrari, as opposed to just hiring, being a Man City. I'd rather they were a Man United than a Man City.
Yeah. One very final one, Eddie, about Ross Brawn. We know him as this extremely professional, extremely serious, almost businessman running a Formula One team or a technical department. Was there a different side to him sometimes? Can you tell us stories?
Ross is an amazing character. Because he was super nice, super calm, um, very genial, good fun, not silly fun like like Burger's silly fun, like throwing suitcases out helicopters and stuff like that. But he was fun, he had a quick turn, good sense of humor. And I remember when I qualified really bad in I think it was Nürburgring, and I spun off in the last lap, which was the lap that you needed to get the lap because the track was drying. And I was like, what are we going to do? 2-stop or 3-stop, like da 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 da. And he goes, listen, you can't polish a turd. And my qualifying was a real turd, But so he was great fun. But at the same time, underneath that nice soft surface, he's kind of cuddly. He's as hard as nails. Very similar to Todd. Todd was very, very nice, but underneath there was a very strong seriousness, and character. And no, I liked Ross a lot. I liked everyone at Ferrari, to be honest. They were all great in their own way.
Yeah. All right, some amazing insight, Eddie. Thanks a lot for that, and I hope you're enjoying the rest of your boat trip around there in Italy.
I am.
We'll speak soon. Have a
Okay,
have a
you
good
take
time.
care.
Bye bye.